Hey everyone, today we're going to be doing a step-by-step tutorial on how to use Opus Clip. That way you guys know everything you have to do in order to make very nice, clean shorts videos for either YouTube, TikTok, Instagram Reels, or wherever you guys are going to be posting your short form content, alright? So, first things first, go over here to opusclip.com. If you guys are not logged in, just hit the sign up button right here. If you guys are maybe new and you guys don't have an account yet, you guys will just hit sign up. Sign in, doesn't matter. It's really just going to take you and it's going to ask you for your Gmail account, or if you want to go through your individual email, you can do that. If they give me the option to do Google, I will always just do Google because that's just so easy to do it. Within a few seconds, you're logged in, very nice and easy. And the first page it's going to take you to is actually going to be your dashboard. This is your main hub where you're going to be looking for all the different videos that you are cutting up. And from here, you're going to go to your individual videos to cut up, slice, and change them up as needed to make the best content possible. So on the very top hand side over here, you're going to see a few different things. You're going to see upload credits. Those are my free trial credits. If you run out of these free trial credits, you're going to see add more credits. And up here, you're going to see my dazzling face, and it's going to give me some options of where I can go for dashboard, brand template, credit usage history, subscription. And of course, if I do want to log out, I can always do that from here. Now, in order to get started making your videos and your short form content, you have a few options here. You can drop a YouTube link, a Rumble link, a Google Drive link, a Zoom link, no matter what you guys are looking for here. If you drop the link, it'll cut it up and it'll make it into short form content for you guys. For this example, we're going to try two different things. I've had a lot of people asking specifically about video games for one, and the other one over here is going to be for podcasts. Podcast is the number one reason I see people get Opus Clip, and video gamers are using it more and more as I've seen. And you guys are asking me a lot of questions, so I'm going to answer all the questions that I've learned, I've been asked over the past few months to kind of give you guys the best guide possible. So we're going to be doing two examples here. The first one is going to be the new Cyberpunk game Phantom Liberty. I'm going to be doing a cutscene movie here. That way you guys can see one example. So once I give it my link, it's going to give me the thumbnail of the YouTube video or a thumbnail of whatever file that was given to it. It's going to show you the resolution up here. Usually you want to have it in 1080, but if the video that you're uploading in is 720, that's okay too. Anything below that, around 480, I usually don't see it as worth it, just because, you know, credits are credits, you do pay for it. I'd rather make sure that the quality of the content that I'm putting out there is going to be top tier content. Now, you're going to see right here, credit usage is 3 hours and 2 minutes. When you guys hit the go button down here after doing all this work, once you hit get clips in one click, it's going to be subtracted here. So you want to do a few things beforehand. First, you're going to be focusing on your caption. Most of you guys are English and your video is going to be in English. You don't have to worry about translation or your video language. But if you guys are Croatian, you guys can click at that. If you guys are Dutch, you guys can click that. And if you guys want a translation, you guys can have the translation that brings it over to English, especially if you're in a very small country that has a very, your language isn't well known across the world. If you want other people in America or Canada or your English speaking countries to be able to read it, then that's a way to go as well. So for me, I'm keeping it as English. There is no translation needed, so I'm going to have no translation. I'm going to click out of it. Next up, you're going to see choose a style. These are basically default styles that you guys can choose when it comes to your videos. If you guys want to have your captions on the bottom, or you guys want to have emojis and whatnot, you guys are going to be clicking on these and seeing what they give you. As soon as you click on any one of these, it's going to give you the option, or I guess it's just hovering. It is just hovering, my bad. You're going to see exactly the settings that it gave you. If you guys want to set up your own template, the best way to do is edit and brand template right here. So you can take any one of these and you're just going to edit it over here. For now, let's just use the preset template number 1, edit and brand template. It's going to open up a whole new window here, or new tab, excuse me. And then from here, you're going to change the presets. The most important thing when you're using something like this is there's this little button right here that most people miss. It's called layout settings. This is where all the tools are, and they want to make it nice and clean when you first open up, but you guys have to understand this is the number one thing you have to open up, because as soon as you open this up, boom, there's a bunch of stuff hidden away in here, okay? So let's crop this down for a second. Auto emojis, basically if you don't want emojis on your captions, you're going to leave this off. If you want to have an auto intro caption, which is basically a text that describes what's about what the short form video is going to be about, you guys will check this on. So if I have a video with President Biden talking about inflation or something, the first text that on there, the intro caption is President Biden speaks on inflation. All right. I don't like to have those on there. I haven't found them to be that great, but if you guys feel like it suits your needs, you guys are going to check this box on. 90% of you, I think, are going to check the box off. All right. Next up, you can have captions right here. This is something else that drops down. If you guys want to have 3 lines versus 1 line, if you want the caption position to be on the top, middle, or bottom, you guys can have that. I will always keep this auto because sometimes I just want to make sure the AI does what it thinks is best. Or if I know exactly that I'm just going to be using this specific type of content, maybe I'll just keep it at bottom. But most of the time it's going to be between bottom and auto for me, especially when it comes to video games, podcasts, or anything else. Depending on how you guys are, you guys might want your captions to pop in a certain way. These are just the different ways that your captions can pop. You can pick whichever one. I'd recommend clicking on each individual one and seeing which one works better. And after you do that, you can change the colors of the words that are popping. You guys can change the font of the overall words. You can make it uppercase all text, or you can just have it be like this. I like to have mine uppercase all just because it seems like it pops just a little bit more. And of course, you can change the font colors, the font strokes, the font shadows, all of that stuff, and AI keywords highlighter. There is no highlighter on this right now, but if I were to come over here and change the different ways, you could actually use the highlighter tool if you guys wanted to, all right? Now, let me put this back up here. Now we're going to be working on the layout settings. There are a few different types here. You have your portrait one for TikTok, Reels, and Shorts. 99% of the time, that's the one I'd recommend. You got 16:9. These are landscape videos. So this is, YouTube and Vimeo. The way this works is there are videos, when you do the setup here, you can actually change the time of them. And I'll talk about this in a little bit. If you guys want to cut up longer videos and just have scenes from these longer videos that are not in short form content mode, this is the way to do it. For YouTubers, this is massive. For Vimeo, I think it's important, but since the algorithm on Vimeo is a little bit different than YouTube, it's probably going to be much more useful on YouTube. Next up, we have the square function for Instagram and LinkedIn. I would say I'd prefer to use the Reels version instead of the squares, but I would actually recommend you guys test this. LinkedIn square is fantastic. Instagram, when you're using the square, I feel like you get more traffic when you're using Reels and not using the square function, if that makes sense. Next up, you're going to see the layout preferences. This is depending on how your video is structured. So for here, I'm doing a cutscene video, but if you guys use a podcast form, you guys can have it just be one person in the head, a fill, fit right here. So there's actually just the video and there's emptiness above and below. I like to have fill. Split is if you have multiple people talking, it can have one person on the top, one person on the bottom. 3, again, 3 people, 4 people, so you can see everybody's faces. I think 3 and 4 are realistically mostly for the Zoom calls, but if you are having a podcast with maybe 5 people that are actively engaging quite a bit, 4 people, 3 people, whatever, maybe that can be more useful. A lot of times when I see podcasts, it's one person talking, the other people listening, then maybe one person jives in, but rarely do I see 3 people all just jamming together. It happens, and if that's you, you guys may be wanting to use the 3 one here, okay? Next up, you're going to see this is a beta screen share. Screen share mode requires screen share content and 1 speaker. If no screen share is identified, we will automatically apply alternative layouts, Most of you guys will not be using this, but if this is your type of content, then of course you guys can do the screen share here. Fit layer crop aspect ratio. This isn't too crazy here. Basically, it's saying, hey, look at this little bar right here. Hope you guys can see it. Yes, you can. All right. I will normally leave this at the original ratio. If you guys want to have a little bit more of you in it, there you go. If it even more in it, right, it's just going to be cropping off more of the sides, basically. I like to have everything in my video usually, but the way this works is auto will figure this out for me most of the time, and most of the time it'll be fill. So for this example, I'm going to actually go with fill because I know what I'm going to be looking for as far as a cutscene movie. Everything else I'm going to say is going to be just fine the way it is. And after you do that, you're going to come up to the top and you're going to see save template. All right. Just like that, template saved. And we're going to go all the way back over here. What I like to do is actually just refresh the whole page and start over. I don't think you have to do this, but it's just a little, I always worry that something's going to happen, even though it never does. But sometimes my anxiety gets to me. Next up, we just put the link in there again, and then we're just going to hit preset template 1 right here. And then this is the next step. Processing time frame / credit saver. Basically, if you only want to have a portion of your podcast or your video cut up into pieces, this is where you actually will say, hey, I only want the AI to focus from the 1 hour mark to the 3 hour mark. I don't want it to focus for the whole 3 hours. By doing that, instead of having 3 hours deducted from your overall amount of hours or credits, you're only going to have 2 hours deducted. Does that make sense? All right. For this video, I'm just going to leave it at 100%. And then you go into preferred clip length. This depends on what type of platform you guys are using. For instance, if you go with auto, this means you're going to be using it for all the platforms, and you're going to be posting some here, some there, some everywhere. If you're only post on YouTube, you guys should stick with 30 seconds and below and 30 to 60 seconds, because over a minute on YouTube, it's no longer short form content. But if you guys are uploading on TikTok, well, TikTok goes all the way to 10 minutes now. So you guys can have all of these clicked or just hit auto. Usually, if you guys know what you're looking for, I will individually click on it. That way it will actually allocate some memory to actually giving me videos that are up to 3 minutes long. For this example, we're going to have everything clicked, because who knows if a conversation is taking a long time. One conversation that's under 60 seconds may be perfect for YouTube. One that's 2 minutes may be perfect for TikTok or Instagram Reels. Afterwards, if you want them to focus on a specific letter or word or keyword, you can enter that in here. For me, I don't need this, but if you guys are sharing this on your channel that's talking about cryptocurrency, and you have an hour of Senate hearings that I like to listen to, I don't want to have short form content about stuff that's not revolving around cryptocurrency. So I would enter in crypto here, or blockchain, or Bitcoin, or something like that. And every time those words are found, it'll make videos from those individual slices of video. It'll make it very easy for me to not waste credits and things like that. So in this example, I don't need to do that. I'll go up here and I'm going to hit get clips in one click, and it's going to hit the setting. Everything's going to be going nice and easy. And then from here, the service is currently expecting high demand. You're currently number 0 in the queue. Estimated waiting time is going to be 20 minutes. You can safely leave this page, and we'll send you an email notification when it's done. So what basically just happened here is it's now working. You'll see it right here, now working. Next up, we have to use another one for the podcasters out there. And the one I'm using is going to be from the Opus Clip YouTube page. There was a masterclass that I encourage all of you guys to watch, because I'm giving you guys the technical side. These guys are wizards when it comes to long form content and short form content. They know how to get the views, so I'd highly recommend watching their video, because they are just, like I said, masterclass. They are the masters. Now, we're going to be going back over here, and we're going to be dropping another link. Again, same concept here. This one's going to be a little bit more streamlined. 720p. Again, you guys can choose any concept you guys want. Maybe I want to have this one. The captions look a little different. They have emojis here. Let me try this. But instead of having the full hour, let's actually only focus on, maybe there's an intro here. Let's only focus on the first 10 minutes. And I want to take off the last maybe 5 minutes or 6 minutes, just because sometimes towards the end of a video, things slow down a lot. People are just kind of talking and maybe giving us some final touch-ups to what the meat of the podcast was about, which is in the middle zone here. I only want to do YouTube style clips. So let's just stick to 30 seconds to 30 seconds to 60 seconds. And then after that, we hit get clips in one click. Now we're going to wait for both of these to finish up. And after both of these are finished up, we're going to go through the second round of what you guys have to do when it comes to fine tuning everything to get them ready for posting on YouTube and posting on Instagram, and of course, posting on TikTok. All right, so it's been about 15-20 minutes since we put everything in. So let's see what exactly it gave us. You're going to see there's no longer a timer on it. It's just going to give you guys the thumbnail. And if you guys want to see everything lit up, you just have to scroll down and have your mouse hovering over anything over here, and you guys will notice it'll all brighten up. So let's start off with the video game one first, because this one is just so much more difficult, I feel like. Opus Clip, they're getting better at this, but I don't think it's their main focus. It's more for podcasts and community building and things like that. But I found out this works very, very well for video games at the same time. So we'll have a few different options here. One that's 23 seconds, one that's 51 seconds, and it'll go up all the way to maybe like a couple minutes here, depending on what you're looking for. Yeah, this one's at 2 minutes and 22 seconds. First of all, I can already see a problem with this, and it's not a huge problem, but it's something for you guys to understand if you guys are making video game content. Having subtitles in the video it's not going to really work out the best. So if you're recording your gameplay, it's best to turn off the in-game subtitles and let the actual Opus clip do the rest for you. That way, as a viewer of the content, they're not going to be looking at two sets of subtitles. This is just something for you guys in the future, okay? But since this is a video game, not my video game, I didn't have that opportunity. So for now, there's two things you can look for when you're looking for the best video. Usually it's going to be somebody in the frame, or it could be something interesting happening while the person is playing. Now, for this instance, we can just open this up, I guess, for now. What you guys are going to do is go over here to play. Actually, let me do something first for you guys. Let me put the volume up here so you guys can listen to it.
2069. Colonel Hansen led an operation colorfully called Midnight Storm. The objective? To occupy this combat zone.
All right, and then from here, you're going to notice that this says low resolution preview. This is not going to be the resolution that comes out if you guys were to actually download this and upload it. This is going to be a dumbed down version of it, so to speak. But I want to make some changes here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to edit. And this is where the next step of understanding all the tools that you guys have access to is going to be very, very important. Now, you see all this stuff that's scribbled out? This is everything that was cut with the video. So if I want to have the video start somewhere else, I can just click anywhere and I can say, hey, set as start over here, set as start over here, set as start. And that's where I can actually have the start of the video be. In this example, I have 52 seconds. Let's try to keep it under 60. But is there any other context here that I can add? Let's see. No, not really. Maybe, do you know I heard right here, set a start. That made it go up to 59 seconds. The last second was carved out an enclave for himself and went from soldier to arms dealer. I think that works. And then of course you could watch everything. Notice that because the way we had our video framed, everything is going to be in this format where it fills up the entire screen. So what I'm going to do is actually type on the first one right here. And if you guys click on any of the letters over here, it'll move the actual timer to where they're speaking. Let's watch it again.
Do you know?
I heard this and that. Something to do with the war?
And then it continues playing on, okay? After you're done with the caption section, you guys are going to move over to design. This is where you guys can still make further changes if you guys want to. So for instance, you see that you have a portrait mode, landscape mode, square mode. We've talked about this all before, but let's say that you want to have this in a landscape mode and a portrait mode. What you can do is download it first off of portrait mode, come back in here, go to landscape, and do save and compile. It'll make a whole new video for you guys in the proper format, showing you guys most of the screen that you guys were able to watch earlier, like if you were watching on a YouTube video, so to speak, okay? And it'll say save this clip before switching, switch anyway, save and compile. If you guys have made previous changes, you're gonna wanna save and compile. If you guys don't care, you guys can just go to switch anyways. Afterwards, you're going to have the same things. You can change everything from here, but remember, this is only going to be changing this one video clip. It's not going to be changing the whole list of other ones. It's just changing this one, which is why I like it, because it's not going to be taking credits over and over and over again. You can make a lot of variations just from one video in itself, which is why I love it so much. The credits aren't getting taken out over and over and over again. All right, so you can do all that. It's the same screen share, the same as before. You cannot change the ratio this time. That's okay, because at the same time, you can change the landscape versus square versus portrait, which I think is actually more important here. This one is in beta mode right now. This is auto B-rolls. This is not going to be something you're going to be using for gaming, but let's turn it on all nonetheless. And basically, if you guys know what B-roll footage is, it's just the footage that pops in and out while people are talking about something. Most of you guys may have seen a podcaster talking about something crazy. And then instead of you watching them do something crazy with their hands, instead it'll do a pop-up or of another video of something crazy happening. That way it gives you more context. It keeps the viewer watching longer, thereby getting more views for that video, because YouTube and other algorithms are pushed out based on the average view durations that are going on. And so what you're going to see now is a few things of B-roll. Just watch the screen and you'll see them pop up.
And establish an NUSA staging ground in Night City. Soon after, the sides agreed to a ceasefire.
Right? So this is B-roll. This is in testing phase right now. It's in beta. It is nowhere near done. But if you guys want to, you guys can click on the B-roll footage right here and you can click delete. Or if you want to, you can say, hey, what other words can I look for? This one right here was looking for protection. Maybe I can type in peace steal or something similar. You hit search and it's going to give you a bunch of options for peace steals and things like that. Maybe I should say peace steal instead of peace because, you know, people like peace. But you get the point. You can actually add that B-roll in here if you guys want it. Now, for me, I'm going to hit delete. I'm actually going to turn auto B-rolls off. If you guys ever want to learn more about B-rolls or if you guys are using them, I would highly recommend you give all of your feedback back to the Opus Clip team. That way they know what needs work or what's working well for you. They are heavily dependent on your guys' experiences to make the best product possible, which is a huge reason why so many people like using the product, because if you have a problem, let them know and they will fix it as fast as they are able. Next up, we have auto emojis, which we talked about earlier. If you guys want to add emojis now, you guys can. If you guys want to add the auto caption now, you guys can. And of course, let me go back over here to the beginning. And you see Colonel Hanson from Soldier 2. That's what it looks like with the auto intro. I don't like that most of the time. You can change it up a little bit, but I just don't like it. And you can of course change the text here if you guys wanted to. Next up, you guys can change all the captions again. Same thing as before with the template that we were changing. So if you guys feel like, oh, that green doesn't really match the scene, you can change it up very easily. And of course, if you want to have a screen overlay so nobody can steal your content, you guys could add it there. Just make sure it is transparent so people can actually see what exactly is being shown on the screen at the same time. And so after you've made all your changes, what you guys are going to do is hit save and compile. And then it's going to take about 1 minute to 2 minutes to tweak it. And this example says 3 minutes. It usually adds an extra one just so you know you're fine. You're going to see this thing right up here that says Opus Clip. That is something that is on my account only. I don't believe that's on your accounts right now. So if you guys are paying for Opus Clip, don't worry about it. You're not going to be seeing that logo right there. And you can see we have a bunch of them over here, a lot to test out. This one is a whole 2 minutes and 26 seconds, so we can go over here and such. But once you've figured out what you like and you've done all the changes for it, you guys have a few different options. You can download it right there. You can go into edit it, again, if you feel like it. And then, of course, you can go over to schedule. An easy way just to figure out what you guys are looking for is it'll give you guys a little bit of a summary of what's going on here, and it'll give it a score. The score system I like a lot, so the further you scroll down, the worse it thinks the videos are. But honestly, like if I were to look at this one.
Yeah, you forgot to add double murderer and all-around coward.
All right, so they're talking about stuff there, obviously, video game stuff. But it's a full 2 minutes and 26 seconds, something that might be working on Twitter. And then from there, I could scroll down, it'll give me the summary. But if I go all the way down to the worst one, and you can see how many videos it just gave me, it's a lot, 41, okay? I can go down to the worst one, it'll give it a score of 76, and it says, the likelihood that this video will go viral on short TikTok and Reels, 76. The video starts with a strong attention and grabbing hook, but it lacks clarity in certain phrases which may hinder viewer engagement. Additionally, the lack of coherence and clarity makes it difficult to follow along. All right, that's what's going on in this video. You can hit play.
The moment you stop shitting carrots and they wave the value stick, fucking run, rabbit.
All right, there you go, another scene. And then of course, it'll keep on playing those other stuff going on here. But if you want to switch stuff up here, you can. And a lot of times if you have a score of 76 or the 80s, whatever, you go to edit, you could turn it into like an 85, 90 by just doing your own edits and making it a better video overall. Now, after you guys download it, there's a few more steps, but first, let's go over here to the second one that we were working on, the Opus Clip for Creators Masterclass. This one right here, you can see how there was a podcast, but it put all three of their faces in at the same time. And so they can be talking about anything here. This one is a score of 99. This video effectively grabs viewers' attention with an interesting hook sentence and flows smooth from one idea to the next. It provides valuable insights on the impact of music and sound. And it's a minute 21 here. Click play.
Value of the content, because then it would hide some of those types of things. And when it comes to music, we actually have a music service. It's called Creator Mix. It's free for content.
And there you go. You have Nick talking about his music service. Maybe I want to actually start off with Nick just talking about the music services, because that's really what I want to focus on as far as this video. And so I can go over here and I can say, where does it start? And when it comes to music, I can do set as start right there. And then boom, that's my new beginning. And I go over here to the bottom and and I can find out where I want the end to be. Advisor. And then right there, I'll be the end. And now that video is 1 minute and 5 seconds, and now I can put this on TikTok or wherever, and it'll go, viral, and people can look at it. It all depends though on the quality of what you're looking for. So remember, once you hit save and compile, it's going to give you that final version of what you're looking for is the higher quality video. I just want you guys to understand that. And of course, you can go through everything before, like changing the styles, adding B-rolls, changing the formats, and all type of stuff. You can do all of that from here as many times as you want for each individual video. The last thing that I think is very important when it comes to these types of things is that you, when it comes to podcasters, adding your own music. So I would say you guys have 2 things you can do here. The first thing is, after you download a video, for this instance, let me download this one. What you guys are most likely going to do is open up some type of software. For me, this is, DaVinci Resolve. Some of you guys have Adobe, things like that. They're working on getting Adobe out for you guys. You can actually export straight to Adobe, which will be awesome. But I have, different types of software. I have Shorts things right here. The short stuff in here is probably all gone. Yeah. But what I'm able to do is go over here to my video files, add this on, and you're going to see that pop up. And then from here, if I want to, I could add other animations before actually sending it right on over to YouTube. So I'd recommend adding this whole step to your process just so you can upgrade your project just a little bit more. And then from here, this is where my personal opinion differs from maybe a lot of other people. I would send it through your email to your phone, and then I would add music directly from the TikTok app or the YouTube app, and that way the app will know, hey, this music is going viral, this video has that music, let's push it out. I've seen much better results when going through the music libraries from YouTube or Instagram or Instagram Reels or TikTok. Okay, they all have their own music systems now. They all will pump out the music if you show them your video through the app or your music through the app instead of adding the music through the software. Although one cool thing is when you're going through the software, you can adjust the audio, the lighting, you can change up a lot of stuff, which is why I always recommend adding this next step up. It's the difference between maybe getting 5,000 to 10,000 views and getting like 100,000 views if you just add those extra few steps in there. And those little things are going to be designed to keep the viewer watching just a little bit longer. Or if you guys don't like their B-roll setup, you can add your own B-roll to make things just a little bit better, some transitions to make things flashy, and that's really how I view it going forward. But let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. Make sure to go visit their Discord section. It is a treasure trove of knowledge, and they have a lot of things to learn about over there, and they're always actually advancing these types of tools that they have to make sure that you get the best product possible. So again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know, and thank you guys so much for watching.